Back in the day, like all in one, it prints, it faxes, it copies, it does everything. Like, yo, ice pops up there. It's like a honey trap for all the illegal immigrants, right? Except, come on, anybody with a brain could tell. Yo, the nosebleed tickets, there's like a meme going on. The nosebleed tickets at the Super Bowl was $3,500. Pablo and Juan, no disrespect. Pablo, Juan, and Edgar is not paying $3,500, which is usually enough to feed a good family of size 20. No disrespect, okay? They're not spending that on one fucking ticket for Super Bowl. It ain't happening. So if I showed up there, you weren't going to find nobody but actually legal immigrants and people who actually got some bread, okay? Look at these seats right here. Look at these seats. So they said this was the seat that cost $44,000 for 2 tickets. So this is the $20,000 view. But they said if you wanted to, so this was a view from a 3,400 seat. Now, I want to tell you about the Super Bowl. It sounds good in theory to go because it's the biggest event. It's the most televised event. It's shitty. First and foremost, because it's the biggest event, they literally make it where whatever security protocols they would take for a normal game, they're taking it times 30. They're acting like it's the biggest, like it's like the president and everybody's just going to be on the field and they have to have ultra security. So if they usually like cut off like 2 blocks from the stadium, they cut off 10 blocks. So now everybody has to walk 10 blocks. It's probably good weather there, so it's hot. It's just like really uncomfortable. They really make it where it's just not fun, bro. It's just not fun. Obviously, if it's your team, you'll go through all that. But if you're a guy who got $20,000 to waste on a fucking Super Bowl ticket, you know you can just rent an Airbnb for 8 bands, a lit-ass Airbnb, invite all your friends, order some pizza, order some wings, get some goddamn liquor. Everybody's joking around. Yeah, like people talk about the game, but like really, it's much more than the game. So I think this sucks. I've been there once, and I watched Usher do all the moonwalk shit, and I was like, I'm good. I don't need to. What am I? Now, if Drake's there, I'm there. I ain't gonna lie. If Drake performs, I'm there. That's a fact. That's a fact. Depending on who's at the next one, because the next one's in Inglewood, California. I might go to that too. But still, regardless, I'm kind of giving you the perspective from, it's kind of a shitty game to go to. Anybody ever been to sports games? You guys should know. Football games are really the worst games to go to. Like, it's way better on TV. There's so many things happening, like you can't really tell. Is that first down? Is that, okay, wait, what's going on? All these niggas have helmets on. You don't know who's who. You're this high up. You can't even see the number on their jersey. So you're sitting here and you see where he's looking? He's looking here. You know you could have been in your motherfucking living room, and for $3,400, you could have probably had 2 bitches stripping. You could have had a chick over there giving neck, another girl over there giving some massages. You could have Wingstop right there. You could have Papa John's and Pizza Hut right here, and you could just be having a blast with 10 homies and invite a couple of hoes from the club. You would have been good. Great time. Great time. And you watching the shit on a 84-inch TV. I think that's the win. This don't look like the win to me. Just keeping it a beat. Now, basketball is very different. I will say, basketball is different. Basketball, very different. I actually do think watching a basketball game in an arena is much better. Way better. Okay? Way better. So for me, I'm not really, unless you got really nice tickets to a football game, I'm not really fond of this experience. You're all the way to nosebleeds. You can't see nothing. You're like, yo, what did they say? That was a what? That was encroachment. What? Offsides? Wait, what are they doing right now? Wait, is it timeout? Wait, is that a cart coming on the field? Yo, you don't know what's going on. I'm keeping the beam with you. Like, they build these stadiums so big, like it has like 80,000 people. Like, bro, you're just watching ants run around. So you're watching this fucking thing over here, and then half the time, the people down here that could really see, they start cheering before you. So you're just cheering for their chairs. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Just being honest. Anyway, but it's the Super Bowl. So we get to halftime show, and I don't know if we could watch it. Y'all want to watch a halftime show? Let's see if we could watch it. We could probably watch the halftime show, right? Now I gotta caution y'all, this shit is all in Spanish, right? Now, before we get to it, and obviously it is what it is. Actually, let me try to play first. Halftime show 2026. Let's see. Pretty sure. Okay, it's here. I don't know if we can play the whole thing.
The National Football League welcomes you
right.
to the Apple
Let's try.
Music Super Bowl 60 halftime show.
By the way, I do want to point out, in 18 hours, this has 39 million views. Does anyone remember how much Kendrick's had? Last year's had in like 24 hours or 18 hours, whatever. We could compare numbers because we are going to get to a numbers conversation at some point. But let's watch. Okay.
Qué rico es el latino. Hoy se ve.
Here we go. Now, this was an interesting, and I do have to talk all over this just to let you know, because I think the NFL or whoever, they're going to copyright it if I don't. So it looks like it's an interesting way how they did this performance, because it has some preloaded video with actual performances. This looks like literally, was this a cornfield? Is this a rice field? What field is this? I'm not too sure. But it has a field with some workers. This is not at the Super Bowl. I will say, and I'm giving gotta help explain some of this to y'all, because I think some people were just like, bro, we don't understand the language. The performance was much more than just the songs that you probably have never heard or that you don't understand. He was trying to infuse the culture of Hispanic culture onto NFL football. That's, if you ask me, I think NFL, when you think about football in America, you think about Mississippi, Alabama, like you think about like these white towns that lack this type of culture. And I do respect and appreciate him trying to put his culture, right? And I do think a lot of people who had problems with this, not necessarily was the music, is because they're cultureless. I got to be honest with you. And I'm not, and before somebody said, yo, this is some tether babble. This is obviously not at African Americans or black people, period. I think, us niggas, we know whether you're black or you are a tether, whatever you're called. There's certain things that we understand that are cultural that doesn't really translate on the big stage. I see a lot of white people, they were like, what is this? Like, even, respectfully to my man, DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad was like, what is this? Like, yo, Vlad, you got to understand. You got to understand there's some nuances here, my brother. Like, brother, like, I don't know where you're going on vacation, but maybe you got to skip Russia one time. Go down to the Caribbean. You know what I mean? Go see, like, a good old night of dominoes. That's the wave, and it doesn't have to be like in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic. It could be any country, but he is showcasing culture, and I like that. He's showing like the fields, sugar cane, or whatever else that might be included up in this field right here, and I think that was important. It's important to point that out for you to understand. So I know I'm talking a lot, but I also want to say this because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I try not to be a hypocrite, even though sometimes we end up being it. Accidentally, hopefully. I remember last year, and I did say this. I was just like, yo, listen, sometimes we just want the hits. And I agree. Because there's going to be some people who say, yo, man, listen, this is the fucking Super Bowl. We're not coming here to come, like, this ain't Stella Got a Groove back. Nigga, this ain't motherfucking, like, we not trying to go to, like, Punta Cana. Nigga, what the fuck? Like, this is the NFL halftime show. Just give us some hot songs. We don't give a fuck about y'all playing dominoes or Spanish people playing we don't care about that. And to that, I do understand a little bit too. I agree with that a little bit too. I'm very limited on how much grace I'll give you because you're sending a message, right? Like this idea of like, when they say, oh, Kendrick was sending a pro-black message of oppression. Like, nigga, it's the Super Bowl. Shut up. And I'll say the same thing about Bad Bunny too. Rock with him. But brother, you got to remember, niggas done paid $5,000 for a ticket. They paid chat. Oh, another thing. I was so happy when I canceled my ticket because I think I told you I have like severe anxiety. So I have severe anxiety about planes, like really severe anxiety. And no, I didn't, I'm not in one of the lucky few that rented the jet to go there. But I definitely I can't fly anything but first class. I have severe anxiety, like really. I don't take pills. I only drink severe. Like, I don't know where it came from, but the last couple years it came. So I always got to be on first class. If I miss my flight, they put me on economy. I just can't do it. I'm claustrophobic. I feel like I want to open the fucking door and I start hyperventilating. People have seen it in real time. So I buy tickets to go because I was going to go to San Francisco. So I booked my shit first before I booked my team. You know, the shit was $20,000. No, was it 20,000? Or was it 14? But because everybody's booking tickets to go there for those dates. So it's $14,000. Right? So $14,000 for a first class flight to San Francisco and back. So when I canceled this shit, I got my money back. When I canceled this shit, I was like, thank God, man. I'm tripping paying $14,000 for this bullshit. Like, why the fuck would I do that? But, you know, I only mention that to say the people in the stands, bro, they paid all type of money just to get there. The hotels are ridiculous. Like, everything is sold out. It's at a premium. Nobody's spending $10,000. They're like, yo, let's get the history of Puerto Rico right now. And I respect it. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not being a hypocrite with my Kendrick take. When I said, yo, Kendrick, ain't nobody trying to hear all that shit, nigga. Let's get to the hits. A part of that does apply to Bad Bunny. My nigga. Niggas ain't paid 10 bands to come up here for you to be like, yo, do y'all know what? You ever tried mango? Nah, bro. Nah, fuck that, nigga. Fuck that. Even though that's a Dominican meal, but fuck that, nigga. It's time for the hits. You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, we at the Super Bowl. So I'm going to give that critique as well, but he's doing what he's doing. I'm like, what the fuck she doing in here? I started to hate. Nah, I was going to hate like that. I was going to hate. I was going to pull a Stephon Diggs. No, I was going to pull an Offset. Yo, Offset was, you know Offset was looking at yo, you see last year when I was watching I'm 100. I always keep it 100. Last year when I was watching the Kendrick shit, remember I told you, like, I didn't go to that either. So I had box seats for those. I gave it to my brother and my sister. And I just say, why didn't I go? I forgot why I didn't go. I should have went because that was lit. I should have went to the Kendrick shit. Anyway, I gave the tickets away. So I'm watching it with a group of friends. And when I'm watching it, everybody's just watching me because they're thinking, like, I don't know why people think I'm like, they think I'm like just straight up OVO. I'm like, all right. So while Kendrick's performing, everybody's kind of looking at me like, he mad right now? But I'm just looking at TV like, that's how Offset was looking at this goddamn game, nigga. Offset was looking at all of this shit because he know at the end of the day, Cardi B and Stephon Diggs, we know what was going to happen if Stephon actually really did what he had to do. If he shook off the washness and that quarterback could get the cataract out of his eyes and could actually throw a actual fucking completion, and let's say he did 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Patriots win, Cardi B got a ring on her finger today. Facts. Think about it, bro. Think about it, bro. Y'all want to talk about it? Nigga, Cardi B is the only woman in U.S. history that stayed with her man while he had 6 kids on her in the same year. So that's like a Guinness World Book of Records. I love Cardi, but goddamn, yo, let me tell you this. A chick let me have 6 kids on her in the same year. I don't even believe in marriage, but I'm going to believe at the end of the year, I got to get married to her to keep her. I'm sorry. Yo, no, that's the only way to keep her, bro. I'm sorry. Bruh, I don't even believe in marriage. But if my girl let me have 6 kids outside of our relationship, same year, I'm putting a ring on that finger. That's a real girl. That's a down one. You can't find that in this lifetime, the next. You probably can't. Yo, they don't even got chicks like that written in the Bible. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Straight up. Yo, I love Cardi. Cardi's a real one. So I knew that fuck nigga had to do the right thing. Boy, put that ring on that finger. And I think that was going to be the play. This is all my thoughts. I'm thinking like a nigga. Straight up. If your girl lets you do all that, you got to get married to her, bro. So I'm thinking that's the script. That's the script. So I know Offset, he's smart. He a nigga too. Right? Like, you know, Offset was counting the babies. You know, Offset was like, yo, what? Yo, I ain't had no break, babies. Yo, this nigga's just, So, you know, Offset was looking at TV like this the whole time, like, one of these. So anyway, let's keep it going. And then you see Cardi B, she's just dancing all up in the halftime performance. Now, she didn't perform, but she's all up in the halftime performance. She kind of got like this white outfit. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, the ring coming. The ring coming. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I never lie to you. These hoes are bad. Yo, these bitches were so bad, I don't even know if they got their papers or not. And y'all know me. I fuck with Uncle Trump. I do believe in law and order. I'm not with ICE killing people. But, you know, I do think we have to enforce the laws of illegal immigration. But fuck it. When I seen this shit, man, I said fuck ICE. I was like, I said fuck ICE too, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. Yo, these bitches was bad. I'm like, yo, fuck ICE. I see why. Bro. Nigga, I said that. I'm like, yo, and I rock with them. I'm like, yo, fuck. Yo, look at these hoes. You can send the niggas back. No, hold on, though. Send them niggas back. But these chicks, keep them. Keep them. Keep them. Yo, put me in control of the border. Strong back. Dominican, no papers here illegally. Been working hard. Detain him. Mexican smut with a fatty and titties sit up like a motherfucker's. Look like 2 elbows on her chest. Lips look like she could suck the fucking cream filling out of a goddamn. Okay. Green card. I'm telling you, facts. We got to get the best of them. We got to get the best of them, chat. I'm sorry. So right here, I was watching this part. Like, man, fuck ICE, man. So Vlad, and I'm kind of bouncing around here a lot. Pause. And only thing I'm doing that because I'm not trying to get struck. Okay, so I can't just play their video. I'm pretty sure they're trying to get ad revenue or something off of it. So I got to like kind of, you know, make content out of it. All right. So Vlad today said music is not universal. 50% of his musical composition and 50% is lyrics. If you don't speak any English, Nas isn't the greatest lyricist of all time. All you hear is gibberish over the beat. You're not experiencing the whole song. Just like when you listen to the greatest Chinese lyricists of all time. The same as when I watched the Bad Bunny halftime show. It looked great. The beats were interesting. But I didn't know a single song or understand what he was saying as a lyricist, not someone who mainly focuses on melodies. So we could understand that I looked around and non-speak. Yo, I'm not going to lie to you. Again, I've never looked at, and I love Vlad, I've never looked at him as more uncultured or lacking that musical depth. And I would never question him when it comes to hip hop. He's really been in, like, he is a hip hop guy. But his lack of music understanding in how music has been influenced even on hip hop from the world. Some of these hard beats and bass lines came from African culture that also was hyphenated and also was really brought up by Jamaican culture. That's what a lot of music really is affected by everything in the world. It's not just this thing where he's like just stuck on like rap and he's like Nas, like, bro, this is not Nas. You get what I'm saying? Like there are music where there is no words. You could go whether they're playing steel drums, whether they're, you know, there's so many genres, calypso, there's tons of genres, even like, you know, in Mexican culture where it's all about a band without words. There's no singing. It's just like they're playing a melody. So to hear, I feel like Vlad gave a really narrow definition of what it took to make a good song. And maybe some of you guys agree with that. And the reason why I went to the segue is to say, I personally think, I don't think the majority of people understand what he's saying in these words for this particular song. But if you just think about the melody, think about the beat, you're probably going to be like, yeah, this is hot. I just don't know what he's saying. And that happens all the time. That happens for Punjabi music, right? I've listened to K-pop at times, and I don't know what they got going on, but it sounds good, right? The first requirement for me for good music is it appealing to my ear? Now, music takes way more than just that, right? You know, it takes more shapes than that. Like, hey, does it affect me? Does it resonate with me? Maybe does the lyrics like mean something more? It could be a lot of different things, but it's not just one thing. And to kind of see, you know, Vlad, you know what's so funny? And I'll mention on my next Vlad interview. I feel if this was someone, Vlad is a Russian Jew. And if this was someone that I believe came from his side of the world that he had some more connection to, whether it's his Russian side or Jewish side in terms of music, he would be defending how much culture or tradition is behind the music, that even if we didn't understand who the person was making the music or what they were necessarily saying, he would understand. But it feels like he's almost like, man, fuck that culture. That's what it comes across like. And by the way, I would never accuse Vlad of being racist, but it comes off as dismissive because everybody, well, most people that I know, I hang out with Nigerians, Liberians, Ghanaians. I hang out with Polish people. I hang out with, of course, my Latinas, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Nicaraguans. Like I hang out with a really diverse group of people, and usually people understand, even if it's not within their full wheelhouse, what tradition is for someone else. And Vlad is just like really black and white on where's the lyrics. I can't hear it. It's like, dog, come on, it's culture. If you look through the diaspora of the Latino community through all these countries within Central America, South America, but also the Caribbean, and even, how it's, within the United States, and I'll even go to Portuguese entities, like, for example, like Brazil, and even, just mainland Spain, Argentina, you will notice that for me, everyone was represented. Like, I know a girl who looks like, I don't know this girl. I know a girl who looks like this, that's kind of like quarter Dominican. She's black, but then also her like family's from like, Costa Rica. I know a chick like this. She looks damn near white. Damn, one of my exes looked damn near like she was white. She was full blood Dominican, right? And a girl like this, she might look phenotypically like she would be an like this girl right here, like phenotypically African American, but just generally she's Dominican, and she got some cousins that's Haitian or some shit. So I get it, and again, even though I'm still trying to make y'all know that I'm not because I identify with it means I can't critique it, because I do think some of this shit we at the Super Bowl we don't give a fuck about. But I do want to show the layers of what I believe this performance was trying to do. Now,
Puerto Rico, de los barrios y los caseríos. La música de Puerto Rico, de los barrios y los caseríos.
I guess it was time to check a box. I'm just going to gloss over, but I think, unfortunately, these days when you're trying to appeal to everybody, and this is why I made an argument saying that I think Bad Bunny in Latin culture is bigger than Drake in American culture, because there is a subculture of American culture that puts Drake in a box. If Drake flirted with the idea of cross-dressing homosexuality, he'd be ostracized and there would be severe dissension among people who supported him. Bad Bunny and Latin culture, they support a lot of things that in other cultures would get boycotted. I'll even go as far to say, like, say Dominican culture, 6ix9ine got ousted out of hip hop for being a rat. Dominican culture and Dominicans embraced him. Now it's not that they love ratting, but it's kind of odd how their culture doesn't like get that divided behind certain things. They just kind of accept it or they look past it. So, for example, Bad Bunny, he flirts a lot with the homosexuality or cross-dressing, and the culture doesn't say, nah, fuck this guy, he's doing that and I'm not into it. They kind of just either ignore it if they're not into it, or they love it because they're like, yo, he represents kind of what maybe whoever is watching is, you know? And I actually do mean this. By the way, get Gaga the fuck out of here. As soon as I seen Gaga, or, you know, actually I was thinking whoever it was, once I seen this, you know, mayonnaise queen on the goddamn stage, I said, yeah, Bad Bunny must be starving for amazing guest, because this wasn't in the cards for me. However, I did say, listen, man, this was an important moment. If you are one of those people who are getting zesty and sturdy and doing all this with your hips and doing all this, you know, crip walking, yeah, that's cool, man. But like, man, that type of shit, hopefully you got a gun. Like, you know, you ever see how these little crip niggas be walking? Like, no disrespect to the Crips and nothing like that, but yo, I seen like the Kendrick song come on and niggas is doing like brother. What I definitely think is lost in culture, especially, I'm going to say American culture. I'm not going to just placate it to black culture and anything else. There was a time that music came on that encouraged men to dance with women. If you go to many other genres, reggae, dancehall, if you play bachata, if you play salsa music, it's meant for both genders to dance. These days, it's a bunch of solo crip walking, male on male, dropping down, kicking their foot, doing all type of twirls, men on men. It's homoerotic. American culture dancing is homoerotic. And I wanted to just say to people, hey, maybe, not saying y'all got to go learn how to salsa and bachata, but some of the dances, like, there are people that dance, but it's usually really homoerotic. Men are winding their hips up. Women, they hear Sexy Red, they don't throw it back on a dude. They throw it back on their friend. Bow, 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 bow. We've lost, like, y'all remember the Hot in Here video? You know, shit, I remember when I did get to go to a party or whatever. This is like a house party. Everybody dancing on each other. You know what I mean? Like, yo, niggas is getting in. Yeah. Bro, these days you go to a club, people on their phone, girls dancing with each other. And when it's time for the niggas to dance, they look mad gay. They look mad gay because they only dancing with themselves. Niggas dancing with themselves. The bitches throwing their ass back on their other whole friend. No, men and women don't dance together no more. Straight up. Tell me. Juvenile back there. Like, yo, man, listen, I used to DJ. When we used to have a party and people ain't started mingling yet, bang, you hit that Juvenile back that ass up. Oh, man, that shit saved me back in the day so many times. These days, that's not what happens. We have niggas dancing to drill music, like they twirling, like you see them doing shit like this is how men are dancing. Have y'all seen this shit right here? This is how the men are dancing these days. Look. So I see. Look.
I'm like, she come trying to party with Heather. My bitch and her friend trying to get them to.
I could see why y'all not gonna like what Bad Bunny got going on. Or not. Let's not say Bad Bunny because you know he be on some shit too. Y'all not gonna like Hispanic music because you have to dance with a girl. And even if it's not that throw it back music, like how, you know, see, dancehall gonna have you diving. Y'all ever see some of these dancehall videos? You diving off a tree. Two men can't dance in dancehall. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all gotta see some of this shit. Nah, you gotta see some of this shit. Some extreme shit. Hold up. Man, I don't know if I can find it real quick. But y'all know how Jamaican culture, give it up. Niggas would be jumping off. It was like a wrestling move. I don't know if I can find it. Anyway. But y'all get my drift. Oh, yeah, some shit like this. Like, now I'm not encouraging this fuckery, but I'm just saying, there was a time. Now, y'all might say, Act, this is extreme. Well, I don't think so. I think this is extreme.
She like, no, we not doing that. I'm like, fuck that. I'm trying to get not with the chat. You thought to Goku sent back. I'm like, she.
I'd rather see this in the clubs I'm going to. I want to see this. Yep. I want to see this. I want to see this. Yes. I'd rather see that. Yep. I'd rather see that. Yep. I'd rather see that. What I don't want to see is me walk into the club and you have Ty Lil doing this.
This new dance called the Zesty Sturdy is taking over New York. It started with TikToker Mahdi 2 Hottie, who created the Ayo dance, mixing the classic sturdy move with...
Nah, this is how all these niggas dance. I ain't gonna lie.
He shoot a shot, no hezzy. Let him in cause I be bready. Like, he a eater and his car shoe back, no...
I'm sorry. If this is how you've been dancing, I understand.
He shoot a shot when he be in my shit macaroni. Like, in my belly.
Like daylight. Bitch, I'm too broke, I don't even got pennies. Bitch, I'm dirty, I'm picking my wax. I can't even buy you.
If this is what you've been watching, or watching shit like this, I remember this one clip. There was a clip when the Toronto show was going on. There was one nigga in the crowd. He was crip walking like he was going out of style. He was crip walking at the Kendrick show. Once I seen that, I'm like, yeah, these niggas go to the club with a full workout with a blue rag in their pocket. Can I find it? I probably can't find it. Look, oh yeah. Of course, if you like this, you don't like men dancing with women. You're like bachata and salsa. Like, what the fuck is niggas doing? Yo, hey, yo, Carl, let's get right. Yo, fuck these hoes. Move, bitch. Let me see one. This is what I call Operation Desert Storm. Let's get all the pussies dry in a near area. This is Operation Desert Storm. You got one genre, they're just dancing like sissies. Straight up. They're just dancing like sissies. They're dancing like sissies. These are the niggas, elbows out like they're in the military doing a bunch of, like, brother, calm it down. Go get the girls. But these, y'all not gonna like what y'all seen on the Bad Bunny show if this is how y'all giving it up. Look. If this is how you came to the club, you've been practicing this bullshit in the mirror. You don't want no women around. Look at this. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all keep that, man. Bring the bitches on for me. I'm sorry. I'd rather, like, you know what I mean, twirl a bitch around, dip her down. I'd rather do that. I'd rather do it. I'm Jamaican now, so we on that dancehall shit. Bend her over. Yo, bum buckler, y'all come here. Yeah, I like that. But still, I'd rather do the salsa. Yeah, get your steps right. Bachata, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Prince Royce, we got you. We got you. Romeo Santos, we got you. But if you like that other shit, good for y'all niggas. Y'all wouldn't like. I get why y'all don't like the Bad Bunny performance. Nobody's crip walking, zesty sturdying. They're not doing the homosexual dances. I get it. All right, Lady Gaga, you too white for this, man. Get the fuck on out of here. Look, even Bad Bunny, we don't even know if he's a fish, but he's engaging with the females. And it's not overly sexualized either. You see fathers dance with their daughters. You see uncles dance with their nieces. It's cool. But it promotes something dope. I like it.
Pido conmigo. Ecuador, Brasil, Colombia, Venezuela.
And then he kind of ends with like shouting out all the countries, which, as much as I do criticize Jay-Z and Rock Nation, I do have to say I think this was a fine selection by them. I have no problem with the selection. Why? I do believe that the NFL has a global initiative and they want to become global. They feel that they're hitting their head on a ceiling within the United States. They have gone over to the UK and other places within the world that they're having, I believe it's about one game every week is international these days. They clearly want to spread football overseas. So to get someone who is probably arguably, or actually probably definitely, a bigger draw overseas than he is in the United States, even though he's a draw in the United States, it's an amazing business move. Okay? Once we stop thinking about performance, it's an amazing business move. So he ends his performance and he shouts out all the, the countries that, support him, and he wants to, continue to support, everything with the game, and you'll hear him here.
Bless America.
He says, was that English? He said, God bless America, right? Here are the flags coming out, which, as much as people want to say that he is disrespectful to America, I don't necessarily think that. He led with the American flag, and then all the other flags followed. By the way, people in Puerto Rico, which he's from, they are citizens of the United States. They hold a American passport. Okay? So it's not like he's saying fuck the United States. While Puerto Rico, which is this flag here, is a territory of the United States, there's probably a shared pride. Hey, we are part of the United States. We love it, but we also love our own identity. And I respect that too. Now, let me kind of wrap this up and we'll get into some other things around this. So, number one, I want to be very objective in how I'm going to rate this. I think this was a beautiful, traditional moment at a time in our country where I believe we're at an inflection point, honestly. We went through a divide socially, economically, but also politically when the elections happened, but that's over a year ago, and Trump won. And anytime an election happens, people have to heal. And I do think healing has happened a little bit, but what's happened recently is that this issue with ICE, the topic of deportations and illegal immigrations and, protesting and all these things have came back up to kind of like really spark a lot of tension among people with different views. And I believe that Bad Bunny had a very important job. He could have used this opportunity to kind of radicalize people to say, hey, listen, F what ICE is doing and F the idea of taking people out of this country. Everybody belongs here. This is everybody, no matter what country you're from. If you're here, you belong here. And that wasn't his message. His message was one of, we do love America, but we do respect all these other places and the contributions of these people. And I thought that this was an amazing job of him in trying to put some love and unity into a situation that, given his power in terms of how they look at him in that Latin community, right? Remember, he supposedly brought almost $1 billion. He added almost $1 billion in GDP to Puerto Rico because he had all of his tour shows there last year, and everybody had to go to the island, pay for hotels. If you don't know what GDP is basically all of the revenue made from that country that's within that country. And he was generating revenue for businesses, hotel chains, for the stadium, for workers there. And it was his decision to say, I want to bring all this business to Puerto Rico. And yeah, he could have definitely said, man, fuck the U.S., but he didn't. So I thought he did a good job of spreading love and also togetherness. And didn't make it super political or didn't stoke the fire in terms of having people ready to crash out. Which, by the way, is very different from the year before. Like, I think, it's just me. You guys can think different. Kendrick made his Super Bowl show about hate, right? I hate Drake. I hate people like him. He's spread, in my opinion, division. And I know some people are going to be like, you just don't. No, but we got to call a spade a spade. If we were going to have some takeaways, right? I don't really like none of these things to have political messages and shit like that. Nigga, just give us some hot songs. Right? I like what Usher did. Bro, just give us some hot songs, bro. Like, it's not that deep. But if you are going to use this platform, I guess, to kind of like send some message across, I would rather it not be divisive, right? I think Kendrick spread hate. He spread a idea of, he used it as a PSA for pedophiles. But it was really because he didn't like one guy. I think Bad Bunny used his platform for love to spread togetherness, and I thought that was dope. Now, let me actually rank the performance. The performance to me was okay. It wasn't outstanding, and not because I do like Bad Bunny as an artist, and not because I do like, Latin music, and I'm really happy that they had this moment. Will I lie? Let's be very clear. Last year when I talked to, and I'm mentioning Kendrick here just because he did the last one, right? And I'll mention other people too, because I'm going to mention Usher. I'm going to use Kendrick. I saw the Usher one in person, and I'm going to mention Bad Bunny. Just to kind of, because I'm not picking on anybody. I'm really being objective. Performance-wise, I thought it was mid. I thought Kendrick's performance-wise was mid too. Kendrick's a pretty good performer, but what I've realized about the Super Bowl, like if you went to Kendrick's show, it's a really good produced show. Really good show. I've said Kendrick puts on one of the best shows, so not knocking him on that. What I've realized about the Super Bowl, and I realized about this even with Bad Bunny, because Bad Bunny also puts on a good show. If you go to Bad Bunny's stadium tour, he puts on a phenomenal show. I think what people respect and love about the Super Bowl, they love solo performers. And this is why when people talk about the Super Bowl performers, or historically the Super Bowl, they talk about Michael Jackson Super Bowl. And the thing about Michael Jackson's Super Bowl is that this guy, he's not only a great singer, he's a great dancer, he's a showman. He was the fucking center of his performance. Now, I don't know if you could ever please everybody for the Super Bowl, but here's the thing. With all due respect, Kendrick is not the guy that goes on. He's a rapper at the end of the day. And by the way, while I'm saying this, because, sometimes people think I'm just hating on Kendrick, I don't think Drake is either. I don't think you just put Drake on a stage and it just shuts it down. It feels like people are yearning for a performer. Which that's why we're going to get to Chris Brown. Because Usher was the closest to it. But the reason why people kind of herald this Michael Jackson performance, not only because he was the biggest thing, is because if you watch this 12 minutes and 18 seconds of performance, you will be jaw-dropped, not by the backup dancers, the lights, the fucking, whatever the set is. You're going to say, this guy could fucking perform. It just is what it is. And this is why I'm saying the Kendrick or the Bad Bunny performances, they're okay. They're not trash. Well, even though I do think it was a little bit. I like the outfits for Kendrick's people, but whatever. It's okay. But I feel like people are expecting this, and you won't get this unless you put Chris Brown on that stage. You won't. Perhaps Kanye, because even though Kanye is not a dancer, Kanye takes it to a otherworldly level. Let me say it again. Kanye takes his performance to a otherworldly level. If Kanye, I believe, ever did the Super Bowl, we would see something that we didn't ever think was possible. Kanye is always a mind-bending, sound-bending, culture-bending artist. He's one of the best performers of all time. So even though he's not a dancer, I think whether it's a set design, whether like the nigga is performing with a fucking helicopter just hovering over the whole thing, he's performing in a drone. I don't know what the hell he would do, but I guarantee it wouldn't be no shit we've ever seen before. This is why I have confidence in Kanye West. But the reality is, and I know we love these artists. By the way, Bad Bunny makes amazing music. I don't want to hear nobody. If y'all don't like it or y'all don't understand it, he's the most streamed artist on Spotify, period, this year. Get with the program or get the fuck out of here. I'm just being objective about performances. I feel like we're in the mode of trying to demand a performer. And there are a few left. Let me play you a little bit of this. I'm going to be honest with you. You watch this and you think about respectfully to whatever we've been watching. Respectfully, bruv. You will see that this is night and day, a different level. We just have to be honest. So respectfully to Bad Bunny, he has the songs. He's the biggest artist in the world. But the performance was, to me, a celebration of culture and togetherness, but it was not one of the best performances I've seen. In fact, I think Usher's performance was better than Kendrick's and better than his. This is why we get to, for example, Chris Brown, who sees this, and maybe people are saying it for the wrong reason. They're probably saying it because they didn't understand the words more than the actual performance aspect. Chris Brown says, I think it's safe to say they need me. Now, I agree with Chris Brown, but it's not for the songs. Like, respectfully to Chris Brown, it's for performance. What we want to see, if we're watching the best football players of that year, the most athletically gifted guys, the guys who have, defied the odds, they have overcame the obstacles, and we're seeing them perform on the highest of levels in the most tense moment. You could only do it once. They don't run it back on the Super Bowl. If you fuck up, it's over. We want to see the best performer that if we put that motherfucker on a stage with a mic and we put a light on him, that person's going to make history. I'm sorry to say there's a handful of people that even fit the bill, but this is why Chris Brown probably felt he was needed. Sorry to tell you. Until we stop comparing Super Bowl performances to Michael Jackson, to Prince.
Oh no, let's go. Don't lie.
I think people are looking for people who are just bigger than life, right? Let me see what they say. What are the top 5 best Super Bowl halftime shows ever? Not the most highest rated. Prince, Michael Jackson. Okay. I think that's what people are kind of looking for. And, I definitely want to acknowledge that Bad Bunny did break an important, he broke an important record. The record came down that Bad Bunny is now his halftime show is the most watched of all time. His halftime show is the most watched of all time. Now, I don't know how they get these views. I think Apple Music, along with, I believe it was on NBC, because people watch. It's very complicated to really determine this, right? And also, I'm always confused. Is this a byproduct of how much the Super Bowl is watched? Because while reading some information about this, supposedly the 135.4 million for the Super Bowl performance that they're saying in viewers. The peak viewers was at the beginning of the performance, meaning people were watching the game. And when halftime show came, those same viewers walked into that. And we don't know if they retained or lost during that time, which I think is very important. if I give you 50,000 viewers, yeah, you can say, oh, I peaked at 50,000. But if by the time you're done doing whatever you're doing in 15 minutes, it's not 50,000 and it's 10,000, I don't know if that's success, right? So I can't tell if the view numbers and the retention numbers mean that people are steadily watching, or did they just tune in because they're watching the game? I don't know what it means. However, there is a list that people are going off, and it has Bad Bunny number 1, 135 million. Kendrick was 133 million. The reason why I'm a little skeptical about the numbers, because I felt it was a good PR thing to say that he beat Mike by 100,000. That was a little odd to me. So you're telling me Michael Jackson's record lasted for all this time, and when Kendrick finally beats it, he beats it by less than 100,000, and they both had 133 million people. It was a little bit skeptical to me. It's a little bit skeptical. So I felt like it was like, if we can't validate these numbers, and we're going to get the numbers from the people who are selling ads and the company who's incentivized to be like, hey, subscribe to us, Apple. How can we really know what these numbers are, right? So I'm not really doubting the number. Well, I guess I kind of am, right? Like, I feel like we need more qualitative numbers. What was the concurrent viewership? Where did they watch from? Also, how do you factor for people having Super Bowl parties? And I don't know. Like, these are all variables that I don't know how they calculate. I would love to see or love to hear an explanation how they calculate. But they are saying that Bad Bunny is now number 1. Bad Bunny is now number 1. Now, I have said, and I made a tweet about this, I think the NFL, if they want to stay within that realm of, I would imagine for them, no matter what the backlash is, they want to beat this number all the time. They no matter what, I think a lot of people was dissatisfied with Kendrick's Super Bowl performance, but could you be dissatisfied with the most views of all time at that time? Bad Bunny, people might be dissatisfied because they couldn't understand it, but it's the most viewed. So if I'm thinking they're going to go into next year and they're going to be seeking the most viewed again, I think they'll be looking forward to either try to get Drake, which I don't think he'll do it just because I don't think him and Jay-Z bang together at all. And I don't think Drake would ever do it as long as Jay-Z and Rock Nation are the ones controlling it. But I could be wrong. Taylor Swift, I think that's one of them. The Weeknd, even though The Weeknd was done already, which that's another conflict of interest because when did The Weeknd do the Super Bowl? Let's see his viewership. They claim his viewership was only 96.7 million. What year was that? What year was that? Also, here's the history of the Super Bowl. So how did... If Michael Jackson, these days there's many different ways how people could tune in, right? Like you could tune in via Apple Music. I think there was a stream there for the halftime show. I think there was people could watch it on their, a streaming app. They could watch it on NBC, whatever. Michael Jackson, which there was pretty much only one way to watch it, was cable TV. How do we know that number is that number, and how does it stand the test of time, right? Anyway. Okay, so let's see. When was The Weeknd? By the way, Bad Bunny did perform in 2020. Okay, so maybe they could bring The Weeknd back around. 2021 was The Weeknd. Okay. Huh. They got Rihanna already. They got 50. They got Dr. Dre. I think Taylor Swift is the last one. Or if not Taylor Swift, they got to go for like Adele. I think Adele and maybe somebody else. Adele and someone else headline. I think that could work. What's up with Adele? Huh? Interesting. They claim that Michael Jackson's Super Bowl performance before was the most watched ever. That drew more viewers than the game itself. I don't think that Bad Bunny drew more viewers than the game itself. But I don't know. We'll find out more later. Okay, so this is the viewership here. Let's get into some reactions